Hello guys and welcome to tuteslearns.com. Uh, Today we are gonna learn and create some basic form structures. But before that, let's have a look on our official website registration page. Here we are having a form, a registration form, and as you can see that it constitutes of labels that a user can't change, text fields, but the user is required to put text. Here you have to put your name, here your email ID and password, and there are some drop down menus from which you can select values. Radio buttons are there from which are used for selecting only one values out of a number of values, and this is again drop down menus. um, okay, so whatever. And these are finally the buttons which on clicking perform some actions. So this was a form, and this will be the form that we are going to create. Just a moment, I'm going to show you there. So as you can see, this is a very basic and simple structure of a form, and it doesn't have a lot of things, but it does have some check boxes, and a radio button is also there for gender, and a drop down menu is there. So it's almost a form. So let's get started. Go into the HTML folder, and there I created a file called named forms. Now open with Google Chrome it. Okay, where is Google? Oh man, there. Okay, so basically how we create forms is by using forms tag. So simply write form and close the form. So the elements of form, that is the inputs, the labels, the checkboxes, the radio buttons, everything will be placed in between these two tags, and this will constitute our form. And before we create some labels and text fields and things, we first need to know that there are three things that we must place in our form. First one is our name, which is, in my case, let's write it login form. Okay, so this is login form, and the other things are in place. Action, and action is something. Here you put a link, or you can say here you put an address or a URL of another web page where you want to perform the action, or basically action specify any script URL that will receive the uploaded data. So let's do it an index.html, and then comes the method. And method is of two types mainly. It could be either get or it could be post. um, get get is uh, it is said that post method is more secure than the get method, and there are some reasons for that, and um, illustrating that will be out of the scope of this video, so we are not going to cover that one. And for now, just understand that the post is more secure method than the get method, and a method is basically used to upload the data, or it's basically it provides the method to how this form will do its function. So here we have taken the method post, which is more secure than the get. Here is our action file, the index.html, where the action will be performed, and the name of our form is login. So now let's create the labels and the input types. Our first element is going to be label user name and slash label. Input type is text, value equals mm, okay, I'm not going to put value here, and name equals user ID or username, whatever you want to write. Okay, so this is it. If you save that and refresh in here, you will see that there comes a username label and with a text field where we have to put our name. So the before we go into further, I need to tell you one more thing, which is margin. We can take margin, and what how we can do that is left margin is going to be 50 pixels and top margin going to be 50 pixels again. Save that, refresh it. What it does is basically the every element in body will be taking 50 pixels from the left margin and 50 pixels from the top margin. This what it does, starting from the 50 pixels um, below the screen. So if I make it 100, then it will be a bit down more here. So that's how we take margins. Okay, so we had created our username. Now let's add another label in it named password hash label. Name equals pass. Save it, refresh it. Now you can see they are both coming in the same line, so you can add a br tag in here. Br, br, s, refresh. Okay, that's much better. So that's the username where I put my name, and that's the password field. Okay, password field is not hidden. It's because this. S, refresh. Okay, now you can see now the password is hidden and the user or anybody else who is typing can't see what he is typing or what the other guy is typing. So basically it's hidden for security reasons. So that's because the password field is it is a password field. Now I'll add a button, and how we can add a button, we can do it in two ways. So the first one is button type equals submit, and then you can put here a slash button. Save that, refresh. Now you see here is a small button which has a submit property, but you can't see what's written in this right now. And how you can see that is you have to place it here. uh, Login, save, refresh. Now you can see there is the button. Also add PRBR here, save it, refresh it. Okay, that's much better. Now we had created a basic you can say basic login table. You can also put it into table if you want. I'm not going to do that right now. It's not very hard, it's very simple, you just have to do it. Okay, so that was you how you can create your login table, and that's how you create your button. Okay, one more thing before I end this tutorial is I would like to teach you is max size and length that we can increase. So if you need to increase the size of the text field, then you just simply write size equals 20, and if you save that and refresh it, nothing's change. And that's might be because we have to 10, save, refresh. Yeah, so look, it's working now. And if you write 20, save that, refresh it. So 20 was our by default length, that's why it was not changing. If you write it in 40, save it, refresh it, like that. But increasing the size of this text field won't increase the size of characters that you can write. For example, you can write this much of amount of characters, but how much amount of characters you can control is you can do like this: max length equals, for example, if you want maximum to be 10 characters to be inputted by the users, so save this, refresh. Now you can see you can't type more than 10 characters, so that's another way to limit the length and the size of your fields. Okay, so we had created a login table in this, and in the next tutorial we'll be creating a registration form. And if it's not looks good to you, then you can always add table to it, table with border 1 pixels, and it could be having a border color of red and a BG color of green. You're getting it? You should, because I taught you these things in the previous video lectures. So slash table, now save it, refresh it. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, there is one more thing that we need to do. That table is has been created, but you can't see the table because there is no row that we had created in the table. So if you need to create a row first, then you will see what's happening. So go into the username, type in here table row, and then the table data, and then the table data here also. Okay, and table row. So this is basically in the first row we are having the username, so save that, refresh it. Look, the username is in the first row, and if you want the same to be done in the second row, so add uh, table row tr and then the td. Okay, and then the td and then the tr, and then this close it, save it, refresh it. And now same for the login table, sorry, the button. For the login button, do table row table data, table data, table row, save that, refresh that. So now you can see, as you can see, this is under our table. Okay, and hurrah, you had created a login table. So that's it for the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. um, so catch you later with the next video. Thank you and have a